First rates will start ticking in any second now. I'm just going to use my Bloomberg screen for reference purposes here. I'm going to start with first Airtel. Oh, that's Bharti Airtel. Let me put it this way, 5 rupees down. Two-wheelers, GST rate cut. If a GST rate cut is coming for two-wheelers, these stocks will do cartwheels and the demand will come back. So you got Hero Motor Corp up 4%, Bajaj Auto up 3%, Eicher Motor will give it some company, and all the two-wheeler ancillary stocks like a Varroc Engineering, anything which is a specialist two-wheeler automobile company, that space today could be a very charged up space. So two-wheelers and two-wheeler ancillary suppliers could be the top theme today. Well, Chandra said Tata Motors could be net debt free in less than 5 years, and Tata Motors has sprung up 230. Vatek Wabag, Rakesh Jhunjhunwala has taken a stake via the preferential route, but at a much more lower price than yesterday's closing price. Let's see how the stock is reacting today. I'll wait for the screen to come up. 215 rupees. So I just want to tell our viewers here is that Mr. Jhunjhunwala is a long-term investor, and this is a preferential issue. He has a different time frame and there is a lock-in. So don't get excited just because an individual investor has bought into it. Then you look at the four-wheeler stocks today, which are also looking quite charged up. So looks like, Aisha, the first draw today really belongs to auto.
Yeah, it is. All that excitement. In fact, we should try and, pull up that Venu Srinivasan bite as well again when we chatted with him earlier today on what this GST reduction, if it comes by within two-wheelers, could really do. But it's really all about autos today. TVS Motors, in fact, is the top gainer within the FRA universe as well. 4.5% uptick there, followed by Hero Motor Corp and Bajaj Auto. Tata Motors, after that 5% bounce yesterday, pushes another 2% in trade, and Ashok Leyland as well is holding good, about 2.25% there. Bharti, now that stock is at that crucial level of 520, so another 1.5% lower. MGL, Adani Enterprises, after that 20% bump up yesterday, is taking a bit of a breather today. Apollo Hospitals, Mahindra Finance, remember this was the top winner within the futures and options names, that's also taking a bit of a breather today. The other losers today are Titan, that's started off flattish with a negative bias. Similar can be said about NMDC and Jindal Steel as well. The breadth though is positive, led of course by autos, and besides that, I'm just going to quickly bring up the list as to what else has been holding out, and give me just a second there. Just going to refresh my screen. And yes, besides autos, there's also Indiabulls Housing that's holding up about 2%. PNB has made a surprise move, about 1.5% higher there. Chola Finance, you've got M&M looking good. You've got Tata Power, Federal Bank, Jubilant Foods, Bata, Motherson Sumi. PVR is holding up. You've got a Bandhan Bank, Interglobe Aviation, Infosys, SBI pushes higher, another 1% there. An RBL Bank, you've got a Dabur holding up 1.6%. And the index still pretty flattish there, 11,480. Still a little shy of that 11,500 mark. Who knows, maybe midday we could make an attempt to claw back to that level or so. CK, what's your sense? Are we headed in for another one of those quiet days with action only in autos?
Well, it does look like, the open is pretty good and the breadth is good, and there are, markets still following the news and doing that aggressively, as evidenced by the fact that, the two-wheeler stocks are top draws in the morning. TVS Motor, of course, the one which has bound up the most to about 6%, and followed by Hero, Bajaj, etc. So autos in demand and auto ancillaries in demand very clearly. That's the dominant sector in the morning. And financials, not too much of a slouch. They are also, kind of carrying on. So my sense is today there was a consensus between me and Kunal about buying into the banking space. So I think that is one to concentrate as far as the indices are concerned. It's already up, and the previous swing highs has been exceeded as we speak. So banks and auto, I think these are the two things to look at. ICICI Bank most correlated to the index. So if you want to play it through banking stock, then ICICI Bank would be a good bet. Kotak is the other one. HDFC, of course, is still flying high. India Bull Housing is another one that I would recommend as a buy. Cholafin, I already have a buy recommendation. So auto and let's say the banking space.
About what's happening in two-wheelers, what's happening to iShare, and two-wheeler analysis is the topical point today, considering that there is buzz of a GST cut. But I'm just going to get one more word from Kunal before that. And Kunal, how is it looking in the first 5 minutes of trade?
Attractive to me because when auto stocks they tend to do pretty well, and the bank, if it leads it from the front, you generally expect that it's going to be a positive day. But I think the the only catch over here is what's happening to Reliance Industries and the fact that the stock is consolidating, not trying to restart its uptrend, which it had been going through since last 2-3 months. I think that could be just a minor spot of bother for the Nifty. But for Bank Nifty, I believe the signs are pretty good. Large cap stocks doing pretty well, large cap private sector banks doing pretty well, and now the PSU banking stocks are also trying to participate. So I think if traders can focus their attention more towards Bank Nifty, at least for the next couple of days before stocks like Reliance, etc., they can probably try and make a comeback again. I think that's where short term money could be made.